Hello Wargamers, Alan Emmerich here from Victory Point Games, and I wanted to explain to you about Frank Chadwick's ETO. This is a series. It'll be a monster game series full of mini monster war games. War games with roughly 44 by 50 inches worth of map space in each game. I think the first entry, Thunder in the East, has got 13 sheets of individually cut corner rounded counters. It's glorious to play. But what is the ETO series? What makes that so novel? Well, obviously it's a series of war games. The first one is Thunder in the East, and that's the one that we have been kickstarting and talking about a great deal. But you might want to know how that fits into the cosmic scheme of things. Thunder in the East is volume 1 of a multi-volume series. Volume 2 is the Middle Sea, and that will take us, of course, to the Mediterranean theater, and this spans the whole war, so you'll get to do everything from the invasions of Yugoslavia and Greece. You'll have Mussolini's 1940 war with Greece. You can airdrop on Crete. We've got the whole African theater, and a great naval system to play on. One of the neat things about the Frank Chadwick's ETO series is how units vary by size, not just formation size like an army and a corps and a division, but physical size. The larger units in the game, which are armies, heavy bombers for air units, and named ships such as battleships and large aircraft carriers for naval units, are on big 3/4 inch counters. Medium-sized units, which are the staple of the game, most of the pieces are medium-sized units. Those are our corps, medium bombers, and cruisers and whatnot for the navies. Those are 0.65 inch counters. And smaller units, breakdown units, so things like submarines and divisions and fighters in the air units, those are on 0.55 inch counters, which is bigger than a 1/2 inch counter. And the physicality of the different counter sizes makes the game amazingly playable. Combine that with a stacking limit of only 3, one large, one medium, and one small unit, and you can always substitute a smaller one for a larger one in your hex, and you've got a really good ergonomic system. There's not walls of counters meeting each other in Frank Chadwick's ETO. Instead, you have a very smooth flowing system. Most war games you have 2 lines and they smack into each other like this. In Frank Chadwick's ETO, you're going to find spaces in the lines, and the lines are going to kind of poke each other like this. So there's a lot more operational maneuver on the game board when you play. And since it grew up from Battle for Moscow, you'll see the classic move, fight, move system in the game to help prevent the gamey tactic of leaving a sacrificial or blocking unit behind. There's a very simple overrun rule where large 10+ strength motorized units can squash little one-step units left as speed bumps along the way. Of course, they have to roll and see how they fare. The other neat thing about Frank Chadwick's ETO, Volume 2 will be the Middle Sea. Volume 3 is going to be Decision in the West. And that's basically going to cover France, the Lowlands, and the United Kingdom for years 1940 through 1945-ish, I guess, if it goes that far, 44. But you'll get to do both campaigns in France with that. And so the Germans invading in 1940, the Allies coming back in 42, 3, or 4, you'll have scenarios for different invasion plans and stuff. You'll also have Great Britain there, so that if there's a Battle of Britain or maybe an Operation Sea Lion invasion, all that will be covered in game Volume 3, Decision in the West. Volume 4 is called Northern Fire, and that'll be the lightest of the volumes, just because there's only so many counters you get up in the Arctic theater in Finland, Sweden, Norway. And that'll cover the German invasion in 1940. In Finland, it'll cover the Winter War and the Continuation War, and those can be added, right on top of Thunder in the East. And there's even hypothetical invasion of Sweden stuff that we're going to be creating for that. So that's pretty neat. Volume 5 isn't really a standalone volume. All the others are standalone games. They're all scenario-based. They all share the same scenario start dates, so that you could put any 2, 3, or 4 of them together and have them all link up in time and space and function in unison. Volume 5 is the Grand Campaign pack, and that will introduce things such as the strategic oceans and the U-boat war, moving the big pieces around, larger economics and politics and things like that, sort of the umbrella Volume 5 called Victory at All Costs. And you know, ETO begins in October or November, I forget which, of 1939. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, but wait a minute, the Germans invaded Poland in September 1st of 1939. Why does the game begin in October or November? That sets a finite beginning and opening nailed down for ETO. In an extra volume, volume number 0, so 1 through 5, and now volume 0, called Dark Beginnings, we take Europe from 1933 to 1939 and demonstrate all the different ways that the alliances, the Austrian civil wars, and anything could have caused the outbreak of World War II. And you can start the Grand Campaign game there. It also, of course, includes the Poland scenario, for those who get the historical September 1939 events to occur. So all that will be included too. It is a grand game. If you have SPI's War in Europe, when you put all the maps together, it'll be about that size, with plenty of charts, tables, and fun to play with. If we get a chance, we can make Frank Chadwick, in his infinite game design capabilities, has actually made more maps going beyond the scope of the game. So if we might make a map pack that goes way off into the Middle East, way out into Siberia, all the way up to Iceland. Yes, we have a map of Iceland. But those are all there for when everything's done and we're ready to go like this and just publish what's left on the warehouse floor. So 5 games plus number 0, Dark Beginnings. That is the entirety of the ETO series. And cleverly, we designed the whole series first. I've got all the counters for all the games all done. These are the playtest maps for the Middle Sea out here on the table. And we pushed the pieces around, and we tried all kinds of little things from the grand game to make sure that everything would be right when it got to you. That we weren't pulling it together at the last minute and hoping it fit with what was already published. So we've invaded Norway. We've hit the beaches at D-Day and broken out many times. We've fought the Battle of Britain. Oh my goodness, I don't even know how many times we've done that. We've airdropped on Malta. We've airdropped on Crete. We've invaded the lowlands. We've overrun France. We've done these things, and they're already in a working, tested model. So as we publish the other games, it's just a matter of putting the polish on. We know all the core systems work. And that's the ETO series. But I'm going to say one last thing. You know, this all began with Battle for Moscow. And my hope is to go back and slice and dice ETO pieces of the map into Battle of games. Make a new Battle for Moscow, a new Battle for Sicily. Make small introductory war games once again out of what started as an introductory war game, grew into a grand system. I would like to carve off pieces to make a series of introductory war games based on this, so you can bring new people into the hobby once again. In 1986, when we did Battle for Moscow, I published it in the Fire and Movement War Gamers, or Strategy Gamer, Beginner's Guide to Strategy Gaming. I knew I'd get that. And I would like to take it around full circle and also create more beginner games from this. So, that's a big mouthful, but Frank Chadwick is in for the duration. Bless his heart. He, like I said, we got all the counters for all the games. If you look through this folder, you'll see the order of battle and all the lists of all of the units in every game. And got the counters made up, we got playtest maps. We are good to go, folks. The ETO system is on a roll. Volume 1, Thunder in the East, coming soon. See you at the Kickstarter.